Hello, everyone. I'm very proud to speak with you today and to offer my congratulations to the entire Globe community on this 35th anniversary. I know this is a year of significant changes for Globe. Among them, of course, the departure of Globe's longtime CEO, Malini Mira. So let me begin by thanking Malini for her truly tireless, diligent, and enthusiastic leadership of this organization over the past 12 years. Thank you, Malini. Thank you very much. Globe is an organization that's close to my heart, by the way. I'm very proud to have been one of its founders back in 1991 and to have served as one of its chairmen. And back in those years, I worked with members of the U.S. Congress on a bipartisan basis, including my good friend John Kerry, and with the European Parliament, with the Japanese Diet, with the Russian Duma back in those days, to bring legislators from countries all around the world into the international conversation on solutions for the climate crisis. When we first formed this organization, our main motivation was to provide an important platform for legislators and parliamentarians around the world to shape humanity's response to the global climate crisis. The Rio Earth Summit saw the emergence of legislators as powerful advocates for climate action, but even more importantly, as critical architects of our response through shaping and passing key legislation in nations around the world. The world today looks very different than it did in Rio 34 years ago this month, different in two ways. First of all, the impacts of the climate crisis have obviously continued to grow much more severe and more frequent. And also, every day we continue to spew 175 million tons of man-made global warming pollution into the thin shell of atmosphere surrounding our planet as if it was an open sewer. You can see behind me in this picture from the space station how thin that blue shell is. It's only 5 to 7 kilometers thick. You could walk it in an hour, but that's what we're using as an open sewer. And the heat-trapping pollution builds up there. It stays a long time, and the amount that's accumulated there right now traps as much extra heat energy as would be released by more than 800,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding on Earth every single day. And the consequences of treating our atmosphere that way are already all around us. Past 10 years are the hottest 10 years ever recorded. Last year, there were 58 individual $1 billion or more extreme weather events. In fact, we've had more than 50 of these billion-dollar catastrophes every year for the past 10 years. These disasters are devastating infrastructure, diverting budgets from important policy priorities for people, and destroying lives and livelihoods in communities all around the world. Globe legislators have dealt with these challenges firsthand. Many of you are here because you have seen directly how damaging the climate crisis has already become, and you know that it's only getting worse the longer we delay action. But you also know that the solutions to the climate crisis are in our hands today, and they're cheaper, cleaner, and better by almost every metric you can think of. This new reality has come into sharp focus for many in the immediate wake of this geopolitical earthquake caused by the war in Iran and the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz. Unlike oil and gas, you can't blockade the sun, and as others have noted, the wind doesn't need a military escort to get through any strait. Just a few years ago, after Putin's sadistic invasion of Ukraine caused yet another energy crisis with fossil fuels, forward-thinking legislators in the UK doubled down on policies to shift the UK away from fossil gas and toward clean energy. As a result, a recent study showed that the UK has saved 7 million pounds per day since the closure of the Strait of Hormuz because solar and wind have displaced the need for such a significant amount of gas power. Climate action, therefore, is not only a moral issue, it is a pocketbook issue for all of us. It's why people around the world are opting for heat pumps, electric vehicles, and rooftop solar. Australia set an all-time record in EV sales, by the way. As of April, year-over-year sales are up 191%. Colombia also set a new record in April. Their EV sales are up 204% compared to last year. In India, they're up 73%, in Italy, 87%, and the list goes on. But adoption of these technologies has been uneven because the policies are uneven. Solar is by far the cheapest electricity in the whole history of the world. So why does a homeowner in California pay 5 times as much for solar power coming from their roofs as a homeowner in Australia does? It comes down to the policies. And far too often, policy making in many countries has been captured by the fossil fuel industry. They're way better at capturing politicians than emissions, and they've done everything in their power to use that political influence to prevent policies that would enable and accelerate a shift away from dirty oil, gas, and coal. Make no mistake, the people are on your side, not on the side of the industry executives who obviously just want to maximize short-term profits. So we need you as globe legislators as never before to break through these log jams that have been imposed on clean energy development in countries around the world and enable the affordable abundance of climate solutions that will drive economic prosperity, improve public health, and lower costs for everybody. We need you to work to reinvigorate democracy, to ensure that governments are working on behalf of the people and not the special interests. Indeed, we can only solve the climate crisis if we can solve the democracy crisis. And if you ever doubt that we can muster the political will to do so, always remember that political will is itself a renewable resource. Thank you.